What up, y'all? Oh shit. Okay. Uh, what's good, Phil P? What's good from London? I. It is 10. It is 11 p.m. and I wanted to come on here and just do a let's talk thing for those who have been following along. I had to have a minimally invasive spinal surgery on Wednesday. So what they did was they went in my spine. They went into one of my discs, like my L4, L5, S1 through 5 disc, and they took some of the disc out to stop the bulging. So, because to go back, I was in this car accident in July, end of July, where I was rear-ended by a car that was rear-ended by another car, and so because of that, I have two pinched nerves in the bulging disc. So they went into my back and did that. Now, this shit sucks because I am I'm right now, I'm in pain, but I'm in the normal post surgery pain. So it's not like I'm in the initial pain that I would had been in. But what sucks is I still have to try to walk around. I still have to try to work. And by working, that's doing stand-up comedy and trying to make money to pay these bills. So even being on here when I dropped a couple of trailer reactions. We saw the reaction to Heads of State and to the Predator Badlands trailer. I did those the day after the surgery. And yeah, man, I just came from doing the show and everybody was like, yo, why are you doing the show? And I'm like, I'm fucking broke. I have to do it. I start because here so sorry. Here's the thing. So a couple comics and people I know were like, "Yo, why don't you do a GoFundMe?" Now, if you know me, you know I'm very anti GoFundMe for me making it myself. If someone else was to make it for me, blah 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 blah, it is what it is. But for me, I'm like, if I can push myself to work to try to do what I got to do, then so be it. Um, but right now, I made it, so I'm gonna put the link in the chat for those who may want to. That's not it. That's not it. Let's delete that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me. Oh shit! Copy unique link. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. So it's a lot going on. It is. It is a lot going on where it's just very painful, but I just got back home and I have these Norco pain pills to try to help me with my to help me deal with the pain. No, I didn't post the OnlyFans link. I posted it literally was like the manage it and the other thing. So I just posted the regular link that's there in the chat for those who may want to do it. But I I don't like doing this fucking GoFundMe thing. But yeah, it's been like this car accident thing for those. I don't know if I told some people who know what it's done is it really has put a hamper on a lot of things I'm able to do. Uh Stand-up comedy is just something I can do, and that's beautiful. And it does hurt standing up straight for a long time. But also like I could utilize my size to work as a bouncer or security in nightclubs, et cetera, normally. But I can't do it now because of the pain in my back. And so this has really like screwed me over a lot. Um, I have tried to keep myself very, very upbeat about it. Um, it's just been a difficult thing. And going in, I'll admit, knowing that it was a minimally invasive surgery again, it's something going into your spine. People like, well, some people are like, yo, like, how do you, it's like it's going in your spine. So the procedure itself was only like 20 something odd minutes. And I'll be honest, they give you this cocktail that, well, for me, originally they told me they were going to knock me out. So I was expected to be intubated, knocked out. All I know was they told me to give me a little propofol, a little fentanyl, and something else on the anesthesia end. Next thing I know, I was alert, but I was out at the same time. And when I woke up, I was like, yo, why the fuck was I dreaming about Zendaya? I was like, why the fuck was she in my, like, it wasn't even nothing erotic. It was like, why the fuck was she in my dream? But so the recovery period, James, so you asked how long is the recovery period. So this is the weird part. So when they were giving me my discharge instructions, here it goes. This is my post-operative care back surgery. So I'm going to read this. Pain medication. Please take Norco and other pain medications directed. Every person reacts differently to the pain medication. Try to stay ahead of the pain. Take medication consistently for the first few days and taper it down as tolerated. Driving. This is where it gets interesting. You'll be able to resume driving 2 weeks after surgery. Please discuss this with your physician at your post-operative visit, which I had to tell them when I was there. I was like, Jay, can you send me a picture of your paintings? I bought the static one and I want to get some more. All I have right now, shit, excuse me. Oh, fucking hell. Oh. Sorry, my back. I got the Red Hood one I did. I've got the Punisher one I did. I'm going to make a couple of more. I got to make some for somebody too. I got the Rugrats one for the kids. And I think, I got this Black Panther one I just was bullshitting with when I did that one. So when it came to the driving thing, I was telling the nurse when she was reading me all of this, I was like, hey, I'm kind of going to have a little issue on the driving thing. She was like, why? Because it also says this: planes, trains, and automobiles. Avoid travel for the first 2 weeks. Then limit as much as possible for a minimum of 8 weeks. The vibrations and sitting posture place extra stress on the neck and back. I said, so here's a problem. I kind of got to work. I said, I got to work. And she was like, well, we got to see. And I was like, all right, cool. And so then I was like, hey, I got a question. What about standing? How long can I stand before I need to like adjust? And she was like, well, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a stand-up comedian. And she was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I have shows already set. Yes. A piece. Yes. If you want to get both, we can work some out. So just hit me up. We can work some out if you want to get both. So yeah, people, so she was like, oh, they were like, oh, you do this. I was like, yeah. So here's the thing. So I had to do a show tonight. So again, me knowing I have to push Pat. So I'm sorry, my Norco's kicking in. So Wednesday I get home, I'm out of it on and off all day. Cool. Thursday, I'm like, all right, I'm not going anywhere. Everybody's like, just sit your ass down. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit down. But then I'm like, I have to do this show on Friday because I have to make this money because rent's coming up and I don't have my rent money. So I had to drive from my place in the valley in Los Angeles to Ontario, California, which if you depending on the time of day, so if you pick the right time of day, it can be from anywhere from an hour normally to up to 3 hours. And I was like, I'm not. Okay, bet. I'll put them up to the side for you. So I was like, yo, I'm not going to drive 3 hours. So it's like, I'll leave. It should take me about an hour and a half at the most. So what I did was I drove, and anything after an hour, I pulled over, got out my car, stretched, and then got back in and just drove the rest of the way. When I tell you I had to walk and my back was on fire and I didn't bring my Norco pills with me because I was like, I don't want to take these fucking Norcos and be driving. So say braces, you may not need a back brace if you're given one. Didn't need one. Anticoagulation, you may resume aspirin at 7 days after surgery because they don't want you to take any blood thinners. Walking is the best exercise. Avoid sitting more than 60 minutes at a time. Recline and change positions. So you'll see me always adjusting. Ice is a great pain reliever, and the muscle relaxant. Fill a Ziploc bag with ice cubes and double bag it, then apply it to the back 15 minutes at a time, as often every hour. So these are all the things I'm following. I didn't have a fusion, so thank God. Um, Eating. Normally, people experience a sore throat, hoarse voice, or swallowing for a short time after surgery. That's for people who are intubated. That wasn't me. So I was good on that. So yeah, man, it's just been to update. I just want to update people on everything going on. Like I saw an article that was written on me from popculture.com about the surgery, and I'm grateful, people took to it. But I also like to make sure I'm, clear about everything that's going on. So yeah, like I said, I've been talking about this accident since last year because that's when it happened. It was July 30th of last year. And all of the different, doctors, my lawyers have had me seen. And one doctor was like, yo, you might need to get the surgery to reduce the disc. And I was, because I had to get the MRI. The MRI determined I had the bulging disc and the 2-pinch nerves. And I was just so anti surgery. Just so anti, surgery because I don't want to be down. And, but real quick, Phil says, have to bounce 7 a.m. and got to get stuff done. Mad love to the neighborhood, of course, Jay. Hope you feel better. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Phil. Appreciate you watching all the way over in London. I appreciate that for sure. I'm getting text messages from people. My homegirl, Jasmine Carter, just texted me to say, no, nigga. She just took a screenshot of the article for popculture.com because when I put in my post, this is what the screenshot says. Get ready to have my surgical surgery for my spinal surgery, which I was already loopy. Was crazy. I'm thinking about all the work I do when I get home because surgery or not, you got to put the work in. She just wrote, no, nigga, rest. And I'm trying again, as much as I would love to. It's just, if I don't have the luxury of chilling. I'm not afforded that luxury. And I never say that for anybody to feel sorry for me or anything of the sorts. It's just I want people to understand that when you're in certain career fields and certain things, even when life happens and life is lifing, you still have to go on and do stuff. So for me, it's even though I've been in pain consistently since July and just had surgery and and they're like, yo, it's your lower back and all your spine. You got to slow down. I'm like, I know I got to slow down, but I can't afford to stop because everybody, one of the things even asked was like, yo, are you going to have somebody be at home with you? And I'm like, no, I live by myself. There's nobody here but me. So there's not going to be anybody here to take care of me. I still have to move around and do whatever needs to be done. And, if I got to clean up something, I still got to do all those things. And so, that's a real part of things. That's a pulling the curtain back, if you will. I want people to understand that, it's not about trying to just be a bad. I joke all the time and say, yo, supervillain right here. I can handle all this. And I've handled a lot, but I don't want to have to, but I have to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to just deal with all this. I mean, like I said, if I could sit up and just allow myself to recuperate and heal and then just, not really do much, just do the basics of what I need to do, I absolutely the fuck would. But I'm not in that position to do so. Um, so I'm holding up well, just normal post-surgery pain. But my Norco just kicked in a bit, which it did. So yeah. So that's just me being transparent. I think that's one of the things I've always done for anyone who's known me throughout my career, whether I've been online or through podcast or through stand up or whatnot. I've always any interview I've ever done, I try to be transparent on things, so there's never anything being misconstrued. Yeah, this shit sucks. It does. It totally sucks. But at the same time, I can't afford to be down because not only just because it. This is also another thing I tell a lot of people, and I never want people to take it the wrong way when I say it. Not only can I not afford to be down for just myself, but I'm also a dad of two. Now, my son is technically grown at 21, but there's still things he will need dad for until he can be fully on his feet. My daughter's 11. She needs different things. And so I have to make sure that when I get those phone calls or text messages from her or her mom, I can do that. And so I can't afford to be down as much as I want to be. Oh, shit. Pardon me. As much as I want to be while here. So, yeah, man. That's the thing. So, um, I got a couple things to do for the next couple of days. Like I gotta actually try to find an appointment to get my headlight. This is how this is how I know life is lifing. And for me as a very religious dude, not a religious dude, and a spiritual dude, and not like one of these fascists with it. God is testing me because also both of my headlights in my car have gone out. I knew one went out, and I was like, all right, I'm good. Like I knew one went out. I was like, all right, I can deal with that. And then I was coming home, ready to come home from thing tonight, and I turned the car on, and it was like both of them. And I was like, stop playing with me. And so now I got to figure out about getting those done. What I'm going to try to do is go tomorrow morning and just see if I can get it done, and then do like the payment installment payments on it to pay it off because I need my headlights. You know what I'm saying? I need my headlights. But it's all these things that just, what doesn't kill you just makes you stronger. Um, and I should be as strong as a brick shit house at this point. Uh, but yeah, it's really just trying to keep moving forward. Like again, like I was saying, I'm going to uh I'm going to be doing more here on my channel, everything I can do to make sure I'm still connected with people. I'm going to, I'm gonna do a lot of updates and reviews and reactions and these let's talks and all this different stuff. So I'm gonna be doing all this different stuff. So yeah, just that's really that, just Winston told me I need to be on here a little more often. And so I've started listening to him a little. Don't tell him I said that either. Because I feel like if people tell Winston that, yo, Jay actually listening to what you say, then it's gonna go to his head. I don't need that. But yeah, this North Dakota kicked in. I feel it a little bit. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here. Like I said, and have you been writing anything lately? Actually, yes. So um I have a literary manager now. I've had her since right before Christmas, and we are working on a project together right now. I am currently writing the pilot for that, as well as trying to break it down episode by episode. Um, I've been working on that consistently. I have one, two, three, three other, four other pilots to different like hour dramedy type shows I've written. I've written two web series. I'm currently working on a short story, like a horror comedy. And I also am plotting in my head a Christmas movie. I really want to credit my friend Lamont McGee. He has really inspired me a lot to write a lot more. Lamont's always working. Lamont's written for a lot of TV shows and, helped work on Young Jedi Adventures, wrote for Black Lightning, All American. One of his movies just recently got done. And so between him, Mark Bernardin, Michaela, Danny, Kevin Avery, Malcolm working, all of them, I've been very inspired a lot by them. So I've been writing a lot, even in the midst of everything. While I was even in my pre-op surgery, I had my notebook and I was taking notes on thoughts I had that I wanted to insert into scenes. So I've been doing a lot of writing. Like a lot of people found out when I announced that I had the literary manager. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you write?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been writing for a while. I just didn't know how to get these projects into someone's hands." So I've been definitely doing that a lot. That's been actually a fun thing, um, to tell stories the way I want to tell them. And yeah, man, it's been an interesting thing. I keep my final draft open on my desktop here. I got it on my laptop as well. Like I said, I'm always taking notes, whether it be handwriting notes in one of my little notebooks that's in my book bag, or I'm typing something into a Google Doc I got here and there, and I'm just consistently, thinking about it. And I know the industry is wild right now as far as trying to be a writer staffed on a show. There aren't enough shows for all of the writers that are out here already, established writers who aren't working. I know a lot of established writers who have not had a job in a while, and even post when we were on strike, when the WGA and us as SAG, we were on strike together. So, a lot of people have been struggling to get that. And it's like, well, what about all these streamers making these shows? Well, they thought everybody was just gonna keep buying all this everybody was gonna keep paying all this money for these streaming platforms, one on top of the other, and it just didn't go that way. And let's just be real. Um, people, I said this years ago, consumers, we shot ourselves in the foot. When it was first coming out that there was going to be Disney Plus, and I believe it was HBO Max at the first time, I was like, I'm telling y'all right now, this is not going to be good. Everybody's talking about this cutting the cord from cable. Matter of fact, I was on Collider Movie Talk when this happened. I wish I still knew where that episode was, because it was myself, Perry, and I think Mark Ellis. And I was saying how this is not going to be a good thing, because we're talking about cutting the cord from cable, that it's going to be cheaper, quote unquote, to have these streaming services. And I said it then, and I've consistently said it, where it's not going to be cheaper, because once you add up all these different services, because what they're going to do, I said it back then, I said they're going to make things that are exclusive to just their service. Netflix started, having only certain things. Then they started making certain Netflix only shows you can only find there. Disney Plus shows you can only find there. HBO shows, et cetera, et cetera. You add all those up, then you add all those up, and then you add on your internet bill itself. Now you're paying more for cable than you ever paid. And that's where a lot of people are at now. That's why you have so many people sharing accounts. And now you got a lot of these, companies trying to say, hey, we're going to cut back. We're going to figure out how to crack down on sharing. It's like, yo, y'all have done this. And y'all the reason people have to do this. But I always say we shot ourselves in the foot as consumers. But all that being said, it made it seem like it was going to be 1 million and something shows created. And they were all created for these streamers. And that's true. But they were like, oh, man, we're going to have all this content. And it's like, why? First of all, stop calling shit content. But the biggest issue became there's not enough time for everyone to consume everything. So because of that, because there's not enough time for everyone to consume everything, then you get shows that no one ever watches. Then you get shows that have these great casts or these amazing stories that no one will ever see. Because why? They can't, there's not enough hours in the day. You're focused here, or you're focused there, or you're trying to watch something here, you're trying to watch something there. So you have all this happen. And so it's all those different things. So now you have less and less shows. we started, people you say, oh man, I want regular TV shows again. I want shows that had like 22 episodes and blah 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 minus filler, but you're always going to have filler if you have 22 episodes. But you don't have that anymore. So now when it comes to writers getting in the room, it's difficult. Younger writers, it's almost impossible. So I would rather just create shows to I would rather create shows to try to sell shows. Meaning I don't, if I create, like, I got a couple that are my babies, these are my heart things I've created. Whereas if it's sold to a studio or network with the option to being bought, I want my name just attached to it still. There are the things you can buy from me and take from me, and you would never have to tell me about. I would never have to be attached to it. But yeah, it's just this industry is definitely changed. James says, thank you for talking about that. I moved out to LA to write for TV. So far, I've been able to find everything. This helps explain why. Yeah, it is definitely going to be difficult for a while because the percentage of writing jobs has shrunk immensely. Now, don't get me started on the addition of AI. It's here, it's not going anywhere. But now you're having studios and you're even having some creatives, praise it because of what it can do. Can it help you? Can it help you unlock a block, if you will? Be like, yo, how do I actually word this in this script? How do I describe this? Maybe it can help me. Those type of things, yes. But you've got studio heads and execs and some people saying, well, no, AI can write the whole thing for you. And the problem is it's not writing the whole thing. It's pulling from work that already exists. It's pulling from stuff that's already out on the internet and all these different resources. And so that also diminishes writing jobs. It's there's so many people who have so many things to say about Hollywood. Oh man, we don't need Hollywood. We can get rid of Hollywood. And it's those people who always say that, always have a favorite TV show or movie they love to watch. And I'm like, you want to get rid of that, but if it wasn't for what you want to get rid of, you wouldn't have what you love. You wouldn't have what you love. So yeah, Daniel Lance says, yeah, not waste time on the show when you have so many hours to spare. Absolutely. You can't, you're like, if I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna watch it. Boogie says, nah, I'm good on those 22 episodes. I stopped watching Arrow because they had too many damn episodes each season. But the thing was, it allowed writers to shine, actors to work, crews to work. And I completely understand. Trust me, I completely understand. But those were show. I've been watching old school like cartoons for and old school shows where they would have like 40, 50 episodes a season, things like that. It's really interesting. All these things are really interesting. These things that keep, so the way the industry is changing. Now, I was talking to some people who said that maybe within the next 2 to 3 years it'll shift back, but who knows? Because look, keeping it a buck, with dude in office and everybody saying, well, we're cutting down on DEI. Here's the problem with that statement. I think Winston and I've said it on Blurs. You need diversity. You need diversity. You need inclusion. You need equity. And also, the biggest benefactors of that were white women. But whatever, I digress on that part. But you need these diverse stories to be told because look at what happens with Sinners. The fact that you have so many people trying to discredit its success. An original film, an original horror film is doing numbers. It is a Black story. I say it's overall a love story more than anything. If you look at all the different layers, you can say action horror, but everything intertwines into love. But it's doing numbers and it's a diverse, unique story. Now, granted, you have two established stalwarts like Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan at the forefront of that, but they aren't just the only ones. Look at One of Them Days that starred Keke Palmer and SZA. Sarita Singleton wrote that, and it's like these things are These stories are out there. You have now. I can only speak to Black stories. I can only speak to Black stories. When it comes to brown stories, Asian American stories, Pacific Islander stories, those stories can be told. You have those same people. You have the equivalent of a Michael B. Jordan and a Ryan Coogler at the forefront for each group I mentioned. But not only just having those people, not only just having the equivalent of those people at the forefront, you have to show your community has to show up like our community shows up us. Just keeping it a buck. If you have you perfect example, Black people showed up and showed out for both Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, regardless of how people felt about the T'Challa thing, the T'Challa recasting situation, the Shuri taking the mantle, et cetera, et cetera. We showed up for each. Wakanda Forever made $858 million. Black Panther itself made $1.3 billion. We showed up. Now you take the equivalent of that, like a Blue Beetle, that didn't make numbers. That didn't do numbers. This is the equip. You have to show. You got Juan Manuel Soto. You got Sholo at the helm. You had an amazing cast. Show up. And yes, I know Blue Beetle was caught in the midst of the strike. So the promotion wasn't there as much. But even still, that word of mouth, that community support, you have to do that for your community. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. If you want more of those stories being told, you have to show those execs that you all come see this. It is just a fact. Like I said, I cannot speak to other communities as to how you're supposed to show up besides to make the box office numbers go, but that's what you got to do. It is, like I said, it's again why you have Black people who say they've seen Sinners 4 and 5 times already in various formats. People are still going to see it repeatedly. The word of mouth has gotten other people to go see it. You have to show up. So when they say the 2 to 3 years, because these milquetoast stories that they want to tell, if you start looking at all these casting announcements, that if you follow the trades, if you look at what comes through the deadlines, varieties, Hollywood Reporters, and then all these shows, it's the most monochromatic shit happening now. It is. And this is not to dismiss white shows or white stories, but when you're the default for so long, people want to see otherwise. People want to see more. There's only so many times. Look, Christmas is gonna come up very soon, and we all know those Hallmark Christmas movies. Either the guy gonna have on a red shirt or the green girl gonna have on a green dress, or vice versa. We always know it's gonna be that somebody comes back to their small town and falls in love with the dude they didn't think they were gonna fall in love with, and you have to tell different stories. Now, granted, there is a market for those stories, and that market allows that same story to be told over and over and over again. That's fair. But then when some people say, well, I want more, I want different, then what do you do? What do you do? He said, I need that night. I was just talking to somebody about this earlier, how that Boomerang, Waiting to Exhale, how Stella Got a Groove Back, all those movies we got, even to the early 2000s, How to Be a Player, The Brothers, Two Can Play That Game. We need that run again, but we need to, again, we can't, I'm going to say this. Black people have to support quality. We can't just be going and be like, yo, we got to support them just to be supporting them, because then that's how you get some bullshit out here. This just is what it is. Says, yep, Latino sat down on Blue Beetle. They did, unfortunately. And I thought Blue Beetle was really good. Better. Yes, Blue Beetle was absolutely better than The Flash. But again, it is not the story that is told, the Jaime Reyes story that was told with his family and everything about it. That was not, we all can go see it. We all gonna go see it. But especially if you're a comic book fan, but it's about the community who is centralized around showing up and showing out to support that. You know, bro, what are you doing up? Go to bed. Man, listen, I just got back from doing a show. My Norco just kicked in, and you missed it. I've been on here earlier. I was being very transparent with everything that's been going on, and while I'm here. So, telling people about the whole the spinal joint, the pain, the Norco kicked in. It is what it is. Homework channel is why people man, listen. That's what and here's the thing. That's another thing too, where and look, I know Tyler Perry is super successful, has his own studio, makes all these shows, et cetera, et cetera. And he has his audience. He knows that, and he caters to that, and that's fine. That's fine. But I personally have just never been one to just rock with Tyler Perry. It's like it's just not for me. But if he does something that's like, yo, this is dope, I'm gonna say it's dope. It just is what it is. He said, I just got back from watching Sinister a third time. So to have you on was a shock. It's about to be 3 a.m. and you need to rest. I know. I just, I gotta try to figure out how to get a lot of shit done. But so yeah. But see it again, that's the point. That's a black dude saying he just went to see Sinners for a third time. This is again, it isn't just because it's like out of obligation. It's this, yo, let me go see this movie again. This movie is dope. This movie it's inspired something within me. It's something about I want to see again. There's elements of this film I need to have and I need to keep introduced into my system. And that's what it's done. Do I ever miss the Midwest? All the time? All the time. I think about home a lot. I think about home a lot. I I'm always I think about home because I always miss that energy, and it's a refresher and a recharge. I'm so stuck that I'm so stuck in the work mode that I'm in. I'm so stuck in the hustle and drive and go 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 that then there is no plan B for me where I want to um just go home sometimes and just have a moment to just recharge and feel the energy of the city and just feel like a normal person at times. Um, there are moments where it's like, yeah, you get so established in your career. I remember I have to have people tell me, yo, you this dude, blah blah blah. I'm like, nah, I'm just a regular dude working. But having all that and maintaining all that and just trying to maintain a basic level is a lot, is draining. So being from the Midwest helps too. I don't want I need headlights. That's it. I don't need to replace nothing. So yeah, my 10-year-old godson was, and that's the thing. Now, granted, that's crazy. Your 10-year-old godson will see it. It's a rated R movie. You are a horrible godfather. I'm just joking. But I mean, look, it's these movies now are, again, it connects. But that's the thing. You gotta have when you connect, and it's like you just want good shit to happen, man. So again, like going back to tie things back to what I was saying earlier about how these stories being told. One of the biggest things we've been talking about, a lot of my friends and I think Matt's been included in this conversation, other people. We're gonna have to, and this is for Black, Brown, anybody that's considered a minority that really isn't a minority, because if you put the minorities together in this country, we're the majority. we're gonna have to create our own shit and shoot and film our own shit. Shouts out to Cheyenne Uelu. She's doing her comic shop web series right now. You gotta film and get your own shit out here now, because that's another thing. These studios don't want to take a chance on nothing. They want something that's already done, so then they can attach their hand to it and say, hey, all right, cool, let's just elevate it. And you're like, bet, I've done all the hard work, but that's what's got to happen now. But that's what's got to happen. So, like, I would say, write something, shoot it, edit it, put it out. And a lot of people get worried about, like, yo, if I put it out, what if don't nobody see it? You got to make sure you just, when you put it out, put the word out. And again, as a religious dude and as a praying dude, have faith. They got to put the right people into your orbit to see it. So don't worry about that. But I think that's the thing now. That's the move. Like, write this shit you want to write, shoot it. Like I said, I'm writing a web series right now, a couple of them on top of the stuff I'm working on. That the web series stuff is going to be something I'm probably just trying to get shot ASAP, because I know too many people that's like, yo, if you want to shoot something, let's shoot it. All right, cool. Let me get this in the hand of somebody who I know can help to direct and produce it and blah, blah, blah. Get the, the casting. But yeah, man, it's just like, it's the things got to be done. Matt said that's why the story I've been working on has been very important to me to knock outside of the one part is it is colorblind casting. I agree. Colorblind cast, like, yo, cast anybody, but also I think it's just having our stories told. Having our stories told, because it's like first of all, we're not a monolith, right? I used to always joke with that from the Key and Peele sketch. We're not a monolith, but it's the truth. We're not a monolith, meaning all Black stories aren't the same. We all don't come from the same background. We all don't come from the hood. We all don't come from the suburbs. We all don't come from just middle class. We all have different stories, and we all have different experiences in life. So having our stories being told are unique, because what happens is, when our stories are told and put on screen, it gives people who would never come into our world a glimpse into our world. And it's not just Black stories. Again, it's brown stories, it's Asian stories, it's all of these other cultures. Think about this. The biggest show in the world, granted it was a fictional story, one of the biggest shows in the world is a Korean drama. It's a Korean drama. People went crazy over Korean drama so much that they started watching all these different Korean movies because they were into that culture now. See how that works? And this takes nothing. This is not diminishing anything about South Korean cinematography and film, because again, Squid Game is amazing. Train to Busan is phenomenal. All these other things. And so it's things like that. What's an underrated comic book run and TV that you wish more people would read and watch? Ooh, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I wish Black Lightning would have got a better chance. And I don't say that. It may sound like I'm saying that being biased because of my connection to the cast and crew and writers and stuff, but that show had so much potential. It deserved more. Our stories are important. That's why Oreo, the script I sent to you, was personal. Story growing up mixed into today's America. I'm still waiting on the notes, nigga. Yo, I don't even remember you sending me that, and so that is on me. I'm gonna say this. I've had several people send me scripts, and I honestly should have read them, and I do apologize. So I'm gonna look for it in my email. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into it. So I apologize for that. That's on me. May 1st. No, nigga, no. I want to work with open appointment. Man, stop playing me. I know getting goddamn well. Yeah, I ain't gotta work. I can't bring the car in tomorrow. Can't drive with just my. I could, but I don't want to do that. That's terrible. Anyways, let's see what Pep Boys got. Anyway, but yeah, these stories have to be told. These stories have to be told. I think we have to understand that there you can make up so much stuff. We can take so many IP things and consistently do shit. Excuse me, and consistently do shit. But to tell stories across the board that would interest people who would normally not hear these stories. Look, you got so many people now going, "Oh, I don't want to read about this person, that person." All right, that's fine. You can stay closed off from society and real life as much as you want to, but it is what it is. Um, I think I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here because I feel this Norco kicking in on full, and my body is about to drop. So I just want to come on here and, like I said, say thank you to everybody. I definitely appreciate you all. Electrical vehicle, electric vehicle. I don't know none of this. Whatever. All right. I appreciate all y'all. I will be back. If I'm not back on here tomorrow, I'll be back for sure around Monday before I go see Thunderbolts. Yeah, Monday before I see Thunderbolts. Whatever drops. Hey, anybody listen to anybody who supported and donated. I appreciate it. Seriously. I don't I don't, like I said, I never wanted to ask for anything. So anyone who does it from the bottom of my heart, it means a lot. So I thank you. I thank you. Thunderbolts comes out next week, but I'm going to see the screening of it Monday. So my review should be up probably. I think the embargo is up. Matt would know when the embargo will be up. Did you ever get that food? Yes, I did. I got it. I got it once I left the surgical center that day. So thank you for that. But yeah, I'm getting tired. Hey, Kat, you came in a little late, but it's all good. You're here. Well, I'm not jealous at all. Oh, you don't have a Cleveland screen. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll find out when the embargo is up, but because I know the London screening has happened already. They did the London premiere, and so the premiere is the same day. So I would assume the embargo's up 10 p.m., something like that, our time, Monday night, because the premiere is happening while I'm going to another screening. So I think once that's done, but from what I hear about all accounts, it's a damn good film. So thank y'all so much for everything. I truly do appreciate y'all. Yeah, a lot of screenings are happening already, and you haven't heard anything. So I think the embargo will be up Monday. I think it's up Monday. But I mean, what more do we want to hear besides everything they said in the trailer is gonna happen? All right. I'm out of here, y'all. I'll talk to y'all. Peace. Oh yeah, play the outro on this.
Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch.